So, what is Glow and how does it actually work? Now, I'm sure you have a ton of questions like what do we do? What's the purpose of the call? How much does it cost? And is this legit? All very fair questions, so let me answer them for you. I know you're here looking for change and answers. So if you're serious about making a change, you need to watch this quick video to build fundamental knowledge. Because the more prepared you are, the better answers and specific help we can actually give you. By the end of the call, we want you to be able to walk away with clear and actionable steps to be able to help you change your life. Treat this like a doctor's appointment. We are here to help you. So for your benefit, don't skip this video and please show up on time. The call is held on Zoom, so please have that installed on your laptop or your computer. And if you are going to use your phone, just make sure it's fully charged and you're seated in a quiet environment. Personally, I find it extremely disrespectful when people show up and it looks like you just woke up from your nap or you're driving or walking around. A lot of the guys that I've spoken to that show up like that never succeed. They stay stuck and they don't take it seriously. Glow is essentially a system to help Asian men rebuild their health, their confidence, and energy without having to cut out rice and staying aligned with their culture. Now, you've probably tried starving yourself on Western diets, tracked every damn calorie, even cut out rice, but the results, it just wasn't sustainable or it didn't even work. And the most common pattern I see amongst a lot of Asian men is you're putting in the work, but you're working hard doing the wrong things. Now, let me show you the exact process we use to help Teddy finally lose 50 pounds without cutting out rice, without going to the gym 6 times a week, and without doing endless hours of cardio, and how you can do the same. We've been able to help hundreds of other Asian men lose up to 100 pounds whilst working long hours behind a desk through a system I developed called Glow, Genetic and Lifestyle Optimization. And if you're thinking about working with us, I'm not here to pressure you. I'm here to help you do your research, show you the good, show you the bad, so by the time that we speak, you'll know exactly whether or not this is the right fit for you. Now, just a quick disclaimer, if you are thinking of joining the program, we can't help everyone. So if you're the type of person who likes to blame everyone but yourself, this probably isn't for you. I also don't like working with broke people, and I'm not talking about financially broke, I'm talking about mentally broke. This is the type of guy who says it's too expensive, parties on the weekends, and buys shit to impress people they don't even care about. I spoke to hundreds, maybe even thousands of men, and it's not usually a money problem, it's a mindset problem. So if you'd rather keep buying cheap shit that doesn't work and value cost over quality, we're probably not your people. We've got packages ranging from $10,000 to $200 depending on the level of support and resources you need. But it also depends on which program you actually qualify for. This can be broken down to monthly installments to make it easier. You can use Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, Cash App, or we can even create a custom plan that works for you. If you actually want to make this work and genuinely want to be a part of this, not just a bit of hesitancy, fear, or something that might be holding you back, just let us know so we can help you out. The worst thing to do is close up on the call, not be honest or transparent, because we can't help you if we don't know what the problem is. Now, if you're not coachable, this probably won't work for you either. I don't care how much you earn or how much you think you know. If you're the type of person who argues with every suggestion, half listens, or thinks you already know everything, this probably isn't for you. Now, diving a little bit further into the science and the theory behind the process, our genetics and our culture, it's different. Regular programs designed for Western people doesn't really work for us. A couple key things we need to consider is cultural diets. Asian meals tend to be high carb, low protein, and we tend to celebrate and connect through food. We have higher health risks at lower BMI, which means you can look normal, but you still have high risk of diabetes and heart disease due to the visceral fat we store internally. And I'm not just making this up. There's a lot of studies, articles, and research that actually back what I'm saying. And Glow has 5 key pillars to the whole process. You have mindset, nutrition, hormones, training, and adaptation. So let's go over the process step by step. 1 is your strategy call, which is essentially the call you booked for. We'll go over where you are now, where you want to go, why it's important, what's stopping you, and how we can fix it. Before your call, this is very crucial. Grab a pen and paper and answer these 3 questions. Make sure you don't half-ass it. If you want real help, come with real answers. Number 1, what would having clarity and losing weight do for you physically, mentally, and emotionally? Number 2, how would having more time, energy, and confidence actually improve other parts of your life? Number 3, what has a cycle of yo-yoing, trying and failing already cost you? And if things get worse, how would your life actually look like 5 years from now? When you're done, and bring this piece of paper on your call. This will help us understand where you're really at so we can tailor the approach that's most effective for you. By the end of the call, you'll have complete clarity on why you're not seeing results, what you're doing wrong, and what you should be doing instead. If you want our help further tailoring and implementing these strategies and you qualify for our program, we can walk you through what that could look like as well. Now let's go over how it works. This isn't some Western one-size-fits-all program. Everything we do is specifically designed for Asian men. From the way we eat, how we store fat, how our bodies respond, even how we think. And for many Asian men, It's not just about food or training, it's about the psychological frameworks that impact our decision-making process. Now, if you go to our website and watch this video over here, it walks you through that process a little bit deeper. Now, if you want our help and we genuinely feel like we can guide you through that process, the next step is your onboarding call, which will cover your current statistics like your height, your weight, your lifestyle, and your goals, match you with the right coach who are all certified, vetted, and experienced, and also map out a clear path based on what's realistic for your schedule and body. Of course, we'll conduct a full physical analysis, but we also don't just look at calories and workout. We run a physical and lifestyle analysis backed by data. It's not as simple as eat less and move more. It's about really understanding what's different in our bodies, but more specifically, your body. Again, Asian men tend to store more visceral fat, our carb metabolism is different, and our testosterone tends to decline a lot earlier. So these are some key factors we need to take into account when designing protocols and making adjustments to the protocols. On the onboarding call, we'll be asking a few key questions like your typical day of eating, what time you wake up, go to sleep, any supplementation you're currently taking, and other lifestyle variables and habits to help us build the first iteration of your protocols. All our coaches are vetted and experienced, and many of them are Asian themselves and have gone through very similar problems. We have Coach Steven, Coach Taylor, Coach Naz, myself, and even Coach Thomas. If you'd like a more in-depth introduction, I've actually created a specific video for that, covering who our coaches are, what they specialize in, and how do you get paired with your coach. If for any reason you don't vibe with your coach, just let me know. I'll offset the time and credit it back, and we'll continue to swap coaches until you're 100% happy. So once you've done the onboarding, once you've joined the community, we'll head over to program design. Starting with nutrition, let me cover what doesn't actually work for Asian men. 1. Aggressive calorie cuts. 2. Higher carb sensitivity. Going too low in carbohydrates like keto kills your energy, your hormones, which again can impact your metabolism. 3. We grew up on rice, not butter and bacon. So doing things like carnivore, it doesn't really work because rice, it connects us from our culture. It allows us to have meals with our family and makes it more realistic for us to stick to long term. 4. Fasting, it's just not ideal. We deal with high stress from family and work. The lack of sleep combined with fasting or one meal a day only leads to more cortisol, fat storage, and burning out. So here's what actually works. Carb periodization to align with insulin sensitivity, moderate 10 to 20% calorie deficits to avoid metabolic slowdown, 3 to 4 resistance sessions per week, stress reduction protocols to lower cortisol and show fat storage, biofeedback tracking to guide training and nutrition adjustments, and coach alignment to make sure you have ethnic-specific context and improved compliance. Now, I want you to pay attention to this graph very closely. This is a representation of your daily energy expenditure. And as you can see here, EAT, exercise activity thermogenesis, is the calories you burn from intentional exercise. That only makes up 10% of your daily energy expenditure. So what does that actually mean? Exercise is not as important as you think, and you don't need a personal trainer or to live in the gym. What matters most is what you do outside the gym. Habits, the decisions you make, and how your system is built around your genetics, culture, and lifestyle will give you a lot more results with much less effort. Now, if you look over here, over 60% of your calories are burned through your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, things your body naturally does to stay alive, like breathing or blinking. So no workout can fix this. It's all about utilizing protocols correctly so you can optimize your metabolism. Now that we understand this, the next step is to figure out how many calories you actually need to eat. I'll be sending you this custom-built calculator straight to your email, along with a full step-by-step tutorial so you can use it on your own. So let me show you Efrain's meal plan as an example. We give Efrain 2 meal plan variations just so he does not get bored, as he likes variety and he's trying to repair his relationship with food. As you can see, meal 1, starting at 10 a.m., he's having a burrito and coffee. Again, we don't believe in restricted diets. Here he has low-fat cheese, spinach, and even turkey bacon. Meal number 2, he's having a chicken teriyaki bowl. Meal number 3, he's having Rice Krispies to curb his sweet tooth, but also it's a great source of fast-acting carbohydrates to help enhance his training performance at the gym. And for his final meal, he has a beef loaded potato bowl. I know it looks a little bit overwhelming, confusing with all the numbers, but trust me, once you get the hang of it and once we show you how to use it, it's actually super simple to use. I've even attached links here to make the grocery shopping experience a lot easier. You can add it straight to your cart and ship it straight to your door. So again, this is specifically curated based on your food preferences, your body type, and your schedule. Just to give you a bit of an idea of what some of our guys eat, we have here Josh T. He's having braised teriyaki chicken with some rice and vegetables. This is Efrain eating his burgers. There's some tacos. There's Coach Steven making homemade banh mi. For Filipinos out there, we have a Spam McMuffin, chicken adobo. And again, these are just examples to give you a bit of an idea on how flexible meals can be. And if you don't have the time to cook, we can always use packaged meals to make things a little bit more realistic for you. Now, being Asian, we need to understand how carbohydrates really work so we can use it to our advantage. There are 2 primary types of carbohydrates. Simple carbs like white rice, honey juice, sugar, and candy. Complex carbohydrates like brown rice, whole wheat breads, and pasta. For Asian men, the issue isn't carbohydrates, it's actually carb timing and portion control. Now, due to our higher insulin sensitivity post-exercise and glycogen depletion during training, the optimal windows to consume carbohydrates are actually during pre-workout or post-workout. Some of you might have tried meal prep companies, but the problem is meals aren't really tailored to your macros and they don't factor culture, food, or flexibility either. They don't know how your life works. On top of that, you're not learning how to eat, you become dependent on their products, so we'd rather teach you how to build meals and understand the process itself so you never have to be dependent on supplements, trainers, doctors, and nutritionists again. We work with a lot of men who travel a lot for work or in the army or navy, so I understand that sometimes cooking might feel a little bit impossible or unrealistic. When you understand how food works with your body, you don't need to cook or complicate meals. We have clients like Hiro who has very limited access to food and resources. Because of work, he pretty much lived in a hotel and only had access to a microwave. Even then, he was able to lose 50 pounds. And this isn't uncommon. We have other members like CJ and Christian who may sometimes do not have time to cook due to their work commitments. So what they do is send through some images of what they have access to, what might be convenient, and we'll plug it all in, do the calculations for you to make sure that it fits, you reach your goals, but it's also sustainable. Another key element of what we do is hormone management and optimization. Now, because of our genetics, Asian men often deal with different hormonal patterns, lower baseline testosterone, higher estrogen conversion, and more sensitivity to stress hormones like cortisol. Now, this isn't essential at the very start, but if your body's not responding the way it should be, we'll let you know, and this is typically when we recommend you to get blood work done. When we understand what's happening in your body, we can create a targeted plan to raise your testosterone and implement the right supplementation, lower your estrogen, and even control cortisol, all based on Asian-specific data and strategies that we've actually used in the past. Now, everything will be accessible through the Evolution app, which will help you build the habit of starting to track data. It'll outline exactly what to do, when to do, and how to do it. I've recorded all the videos myself and broke it down step by step. So to make sure that you're training efficiently, to make sure you're getting the most out of every rep, out of every minute you spend in the gym, and more importantly, avoid any potential injuries. There's also a built-in food tracker so you can scan and log within the app to keep everything in one place if you like. We'll be able to see your daily breakdown. Now, if you've never tracked before, that's completely fine. We're here to help you. And yes, it takes a bit of work, but it'll be worth it. And once you learn how to do it, you'll be able to have a little bit more flexibility, eat without guilt, and build the discipline that will translate to other parts of your life. There are many different metrics that we use to track your biofeedback as well to help us identify any potential red flags. Here's a quick case study of Arthur, just an example of what you can expect. As you can see, he started at 2,700 calories, 5,000 steps, and within the first 30 days, you guys can expect to lose anywhere from 5 to 15 pounds. Some guys have lost 20, just depending on how much body fat you need to lose and your level of compliance. After the first 30 days, we transition to a fat loss phase, which lasts for 6 to 12 weeks. We gradually drop your caloric intake and slowly increase your level of activity. Now Arthur's at 2,100 calories at 8,000 steps, and at this point, you can expect to drop 1 or 2 shirt sizes. You'll also notice physical changes and improved blood markers. Now things get exciting during the ramp up phase, which lasts about 2 or 8 weeks. Arthur's now at 1,700 with 10,000 steps daily. Here you'll start to notice more confidence and build much stronger habits, discipline, and self-standard. As you can see, we didn't cut out carbohydrates. He's still eating about 200 grams of carbs per day to assist with his recovery and performance. There's been a dramatic change in his body composition already so far. After the 2 to 8 week period, we then transition into peak phase. You'll notice that his body composition has completely changed. He's lost so much body fat, but we actually didn't drop his food. We added 2 high carb days at 2,100 calories, eating 250 to 300 grams of carbs. And he started losing a lot more weight. And that's exactly the goal. We want to train smarter and not harder. After the peak phase, we then transition to the reverse phase, which can last for 4 to 8 weeks, where we gradually increase your calorie intake back to maintenance. This is very important. If not done correctly, you're going to damage your metabolism. The purpose of this is to make your metabolism healthy again. Now, your body requires more calories just to maintain. And after a long dieting phase, we increase your food intake, we then transition to a maintenance phase. And from there, you can repeat the process and transition back into a dieting phase, depending on how much fat you need to lose, or transition to a lean building phase. Now, everyone's goals are a little bit different. I showed you Arthur because I want to prove that you can still eat carbohydrates. You don't need to overwork yourself to see phenomenal results. And it's actually a lot harder for people that are more experienced to make progress. If you understand our Asian genetics and eat the right way, we can take you from a 30% body fat to under 10%, whilst optimizing your metabolism. We have Johnny here who trained at home, and his goal wasn't to get shredded. He just wanted to be healthier. What I want you guys to really take away from this process is not just a physical transformation, but it's who you become and the challenges you're able to overcome in each different stage. Once your onboarding call is completed, we then go through your induction call and your weekly check-ins. Unlike many programs out there, we don't just disappear. We want to really guide you through each step of the process. Your protocols, they can change every week, but communication is key because we can't fix something we don't know. Please do not send a random message saying this isn't working, I want to cancel, when you haven't even spoken to your coach about your challenges. You need to tell us what's going on so we can adjust the plan as we learn more about your body and your psychological state. You can contact us 24/7 so you never feel lost. And every week, you have a dedicated time slot where we spend 20 to 40 minutes making adjustments, go over mental frameworks, and setting goals for the next 7 days. Quite a common concern that we do hear is, wouldn't it be better to have an in-person trainer? This is also a common question that we do get asked, so I've created a specific video for that, where Josh, a client of ours, actually explained the differences that he's noticed because he's on both in person and has gone through this experience with us together. So just a quick summary of what you do get. You'll get a lifestyle analysis, hormone assessment, supplement protocols, biofeedback tracking, progressive training protocols, flexible nutrition, training analysis. You have access to community. You have access to custom-built recipes, mentorship, and certified coaches. You can pause and have a read through these brief descriptions, but I always like to use a chef analogy. These are just tools, and all chefs use the same tool to cook, but it's how they use these tools based on their years of experience that determines a good steak from a bad steak. My priority is quality, experience, and results. I want to focus on how you feel through the process and the results you get. Because at the end of the day, you don't care whether or not I cooked the steak with a spatula or a fork. You care about the experience, how it tastes, how it makes you feel. It's not about how many things you get, it's about the quality of the things that you receive. I hope you found this video valuable and walk away with a clear understanding of why you've been stuck. Before a call, I want you to do your research, so please make sure you complete all the steps on this website and check out the FAQs where I answer questions like, do you have a guarantee? What if this doesn't work for me? What makes you different? And a bunch of other questions you probably have. So again, go through these videos, complete the 3 steps, and I'll see you guys on the inside.